It's so nice to look out in this audience and see so many people I've worked with through the years. I think I would begin with a quote from Wayne Gretzky. It's not where the puck has been, it's where the puck is going. And that's what we think about when we think about this incredible opportunity to transform education. So let me tell you a little bit about the landscape in Maryland. We're talking about the opportunity to influence for your pipelines 1 million students. 1 million students. And the ability to prepare people who will seed those 80,000 teachers that we have in the state of Maryland. And the budget of more than $14 billion with a B. And then the philosophy that education makes every other profession possible. And so I'm drawn to this, and so many people in this room in this university are drawn to this because we know the power of it. And so today, as I make this rapid presentation so you can continue your networking, etc., I do want to say that I'm not going to be focused on a program. Those programs are threaded throughout these incredible displays that you see here today. But I am going to emphasize some basic programs and philosophies that I think guide education in this 21st century. So we're educating our teachers. It is not done only in the College of Education. It is done across this campus, which has a remarkable track record for preparing teachers who thus prepare our students to become the pipeline of this state. And so we have to be aware of not wasting 1 month, 1 year of a child's learning opportunity. And today we have research upon research that tells us some of the most productive times for learning precede what we have traditionally thought about as school-age children. And in order for these children to enter school and the rigors of the academic programs we expect today, these children have to be prepared for it. And so the emphasis on early childhood education. Now, when a group of Nobel scientists were brought together, they were asked a very important question. What is the last frontier? And without hesitation, they said, it's understanding the human brain and how it works. The ability to learn and be productive has everything to do with the human brain. And so as we think about preparing teachers, thus preparing our students, we have to think about the neuroscience and what the research tells us in terms of critical periods of learning, how students are learning today versus the way they learned when I went to school or many of you went to school. And it's a very different kind of situation. We would all agree that we have a shrinking globe, and yet many Americans are disadvantaged by the fact that they are not proficient in foreign languages. And thus, we cannot expect our students to be taught a foreign language with proficiency when those students are taught in high school in 2 or 3 years. No, they have to begin literally in kindergarten to develop that level of proficiency. And so that is a change that has to be made. And to make that change, it's necessary that we have teachers who know how to teach a foreign language, not just speak a foreign language, but can teach a foreign language. So when you ask a group of business people, what are the skills you want people to have when they come to work for you. They usually don't talk so much about content. What they talk about is the ability to do critical thinking, the ability to solve problems, the ability to integrate knowledge, the ability to apply knowledge, the ability to be creative in terms of information discovery. And so these skills have to be embedded in everything we do with our students here as they become teachers, and they apply that to their classrooms when they become teachers for our students. And they have to be able to do this with a level of integrity. And so today, we know how important technology is. There's no doubt about it. Go into an Apple store and see the 2- and 3-year-olds who are able to use technology with facility. If I have a problem, I call my grandson because he can come in a minute and be able to fix it. But that doesn't necessarily mean quality. And to use technology with a level of fidelity is a different experience. And so I predict that we will be using technology in a blended model for learning. We won't replace teachers, but we certainly will have a wider access to a universe of knowledge that we'd never have residing in a single or a group of teachers. And so I think that's definitely the wave of the future, and the work that's being done here in that regard is amazing. For our students, the juncture from being here at Towson University to being in a classroom to helping students, their students, understand this larger universe that is possible for them requires relationships. It requires internships. It requires capstone projects. And so as we prepare our teachers here to be able to have those experiences, that needs to be passed along to our students. Now, one of the great experiences of my life through the National Academy of Sciences was to serve on the committee called Rising Above the Gathering Storm, which has everything to do with America's competitiveness. And I've said this in several venues, so if you've heard it, you can close your ears. I was actually, for once in my life, intimidated. I was intimidated by the idea that these were some of the top research scientists in the field of STEM. These were the heads of the DuPont, Intel, Exxon companies. And if any of you watched the Masters, every 5 minutes, there was a break-in to say, where do American students compare to foreign students in terms of STEM? The National Math and Science Initiative by Exxon. And so I had the privilege of serving on that. And what I'd like to say, it became the bill that was known as America's Competitiveness Bill in Congress, which passed. Well, they wanted to begin to see the idea that we would have teachers who could actually deliver on the promise of what they called the You Teach in math and science. And so I'm proud to say that through the work of this university, with particular expertise from math and science here at the university, this is the first place in Maryland that now has a National Science Initiative grant, the You Teach grant, and they deserve applause. Okay, do we believe that schools will be, at some point in time, will be defined by bricks and mortar? Actually, I don't believe that. I believe we'll see a time when schools are no longer defined by bricks and mortar. It will be a different configuration of learning. And so I think we need to feed forward in terms of that vision of whether or not we can deliver with high quality outside of the confines of our traditional schools. I've been very interested in the idea that we will prepare our teachers to work in concert with institutions of higher education. And so we have a small effort going on in Baltimore County. Is anyone here from the Community College of Baltimore County? Yay, wonderful, because they're producing students who are getting a high school diploma and an AA degree simultaneously. Can you imagine? There would be a time when a student might exit high school and already have an AA degree. And so congratulations. This is the kind of timeline that should be flexible for our students. We should not waste their time, and we should capitalize on their talents. And is every student going to go immediately to an institution of higher education? The answer to that is no. And we have to prepare teachers who are in the career technology arena. Now, if you're going to be a certified auto mechanic today, you have to be able to read over 30,000 pages of technical information. These are high quality programs that are certified programs. We have to prepare our teachers to deliver in terms of this career technology area. It's a critical option for our country, and it's a critical option for our educational system. And finally, we want to transform education because, as I said at the beginning, education and the work done in education makes every other profession possible. And until we make it a bona fide, accountable profession that is highly respected, highly lucrative, and appealing as a career path, we will be struggling to produce the pipeline that will seed every innovation in this room and beyond. And so I have done a lot of work in Taiwan. Anyone from Taiwan? No? Well, if you were in Taiwan and you were a teacher, you wouldn't pay any taxes because you're the most respected people in the country. And we have to certainly market the importance of strong educational systems to business. But I have to say, of all the things I've said, that's the easiest, because the relationship with the business community in my tenure as state superintendent has been nothing short of remarkable. So I thank all of you as we're on this journey to say we have to provide, and we will in this institution provide the best preparation possible to ensure the highest quality of student we produce in every classroom. And to remind all of us, that means 1 million students. Thank you very much. And finally, if you haven't read it, Daniel Pink, some of you have read his Drive or A Whole New Mind, but we never think of this related to education. To sell is human. If you interview 9 people, and many of them being educators, they'll say, we'll ask the question, are you into marketing? They'll say no. We're all into marketing. Thank you.